Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel ForexPnL. Today is Tuesday, the 8th of February 2022. It's 9:40 p.m. and again, it's time for me to do the midweek Forex forecast for this particular week. As usual, guys, we're going to take a look at the majors and some cross pairs that are giving me some nice levels to keep an eye on, all right? So without any further delays, guys, we're going to go into it. I'm just going to take a look at the economical calendar just to take a look and see what we have, guys. As you see, well, this week, as we pointed out, is very light when it comes to fundamentals. All right, so the first serious fundamentals we're actually going to get is around Thursday. I mean, tomorrow we have the Bank of Canada's governor speaking, all right, around 12 noon Eastern. And then, we also have another speech from Bank of England. And then the one news that we're really going to pay attention to is going to be this CPI coming from the United States Axis. And then later that day, we have the governor of Bank of Australia, Reserve Bank of Australia speaking, okay, around 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. All right, so that's really about it when it comes to the news we have on the economical calendar. All right, so well, that's all from the fundamentals right now. Not much from a fundamental perspective as far as this week is concerned. Now taking a look at the charts, I'm going to be kicking things off with US dollar Swiss francs. Now well, as expected, we had pointed out this particular demand zone that we have in this area, you remember? And then, well, the markets opened here, and then finally we got a push to the downside into this particular demand zone. And you can see since then the buyers have been coming into the markets. Price gave us a nice spike to the upside to retest this previous swing high in this area, but since then the market has really been ranging. We've not really gone anywhere. The market has just been in a range, okay? Market has not really taken off, and that's partly because of this supply zone that we have in this area. So you can see price is finding it difficult to break this supply zone that we have in this area, okay? So this is the range that we have right now. Price is bouncing off of this demand, all right, and also bouncing off of this supply in this area. So this is what is holding price. Well, it's very possible maybe we have to wait and see. Do we get a break to the upside or do we get a break to the downside? All right, well, only time will tell. But right now price is just stuck in a range. There's not much going on here. In my opinion, I will personally wait for price to kind of break out either to the upside or to the downside in this particular currency pair. Okay, all right, so that's really it from US dollar Swiss francs. Not much. For euro US dollar, what do we have here? Well, again, we've not really been doing much in this pair. Price has just been, in this tight consolidation area, looking more like it's going to be a bullish breakout, to be honest with you. Price earlier today actually gave us a retest of 1,400 institutional price level. All right, right around here. 1 second. Oops, where is my tool? Okay, right here. Okay. Price gave us that test of 1,400 area, okay, right around here. And well, you can see since then we've been finding support off of that level, and it's looking as if price is now about to start taking off to the upside. Okay, clearly we're in an uptrend, as we can see from this particular time frame. All right, after that nice bullish thrust to the upside, price has just hesitated a little bit, ranged, consolidated, and now you never know, from here price might begin to give us another push to the upside after this retest of 1,400. Again, no clear direction yet, but I would prefer to see the bulls come into this market just because we are in an uptrend, okay? And price is expected to be forming higher highs and higher lows, okay? But again, nothing is happening yet in this particular currency pair. It's more like we are in a wait and see mode right now, but I will favor a bullish breakout since we are in an uptrend. Okay, that's it for euro US dollar. Next up, Australian dollar US dollar. Now this pair it's moving to the upside, as we can see here, and I'm looking at the hourly time frame, but you can see it's just been a lot of hesitation, a lot of drag. Okay, the market is just hesitating a lot, but we are generally moving to the upside. All right, right now price has now run into this previous area of resistance that we have right around that 0.7155 7150 area. You can see that area has worked as resistance for a while now. Okay, so I would say apply some caution, and remember that is the area of supply that we have on the 4 hours time frame, and also even on the daily time frame, if you remember. So price is in that area again. Let me plot it so you see. All right, so well, I would say be cautious, all right, because price just dipped into that area of supply again. In my own opinion, I favor a bullish move, all right, because, well, right now you can see how this market is moving. After that nice push to the downside, price gave us a very nice push to the upside, taking off this area of supply, forming this demand zone in the process, and you can see how price just tapped into that particular demand zone, and right now we are slowly but surely pushing again to the upside. So the bulls in this market, we are respecting demand zones that are forming in this particular market. So in my own opinion, I'm favoring the bulls in this particular move. Hopefully the bulls continue to push to the upside, but again, remember, this is a supply zone and anything can happen. Price from here can just begin to shoot to the downside. To be on the safe side, in my own opinion, just wait for the bulls to do their thing, give you a clear break of this area, and then once that happens, as price begins to pull back, you start searching for those demand zones to get filled for further continuations to the upside. But based on what the price is doing right now, in my own opinion, it's not much going on, okay? But generally to the upside. Okay, that's it for Australian dollar, US dollar. Next up is New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Pretty much the same story in this particular currency pair. You can see how we got a nice push to the upside in this area, but then the bears came into this market, so we took off areas of demand, and this is a selling origin. This pair, in my own opinion, is not moving so much to the upside. Okay, price can easily from here right now just give you a nice push again to the downside, but it's not clear. Nothing is clear in this currency pair right now. It's also possible that we might get a quick dip into the upside into this selling origin that we have here, and then from there the bears can now come back into this market for further continuations to the downside. But in my own opinion, it is not a high quality setup at the moment, and I'm preferring to stay away in this particular setup right now. Okay, so that's it for New Zealand US dollar. Next up is British pounds and US dollar. Well, I currently have a long position in this one. If you guys remember from the weekend forex forecast, I told you guys I'm expecting this demand zone to hold in the 4 hours time frame. I monitored this one. I'm already long in this currency pair, but right now, well, it's as if the bulls are coming back into this market. Let's see if the bulls continue to push this thing to the upside. Who knows? That is what I would love to see, especially since I'm already long in GU. Okay, but it's looking as if I zoom into the hourly time frame, you can see that price is now slowly breaking out of this ranging area that we have, and you can see we got that break. Price pulled back, found some support off of this particular demand zone that formed in this area that led to the break of this level of structure, and since then you can see price is now pushing off of that area. Hopefully we get to take off this level around London, and if that happens, I'll be more confident that the bulls are now going to be coming into this market to continue to push this thing, this particular currency pair to the upside. Okay, that's pretty much what I'll prefer to see, but again, I don't control the markets. In my own opinion, let's see how it goes. Okay, I have my stops in place, I have my profit targets in place. As usual, guys, you know that I personally will be shooting for at least my first profit target will be a couple of pips before hitting this previous swing high area. Okay, so in case you see some setups in this particular pair or any form of pullbacks and you're interested in taking this, that's pretty much my levels. Okay, stops and targets around here. All right, so that's it for GU. Not much. It's looking bullish in my opinion. The buyers are coming into this market. Let's see if that pressure to the upside is going to continue. Now next up is going to be US dollar, Canadian dollar. Not much in this particular currency pair. Okay, I had anticipated that this demand zone is going to hold, okay, in the weekend forex forecast, but as you can see here, well, that did not happen. Okay, that's not the case. Instead, we actually got price to give us a break of that demand zone, and then price in that process formed this supply zone which price tapped into before dropping to the downside. Okay, so there was no bounce. We actually had a break of that demand zone, a clear break of that demand zone, and that's the reason why I always tell you guys not to bracket the demand and supply zones. Okay, so in this case it did not hold and price just breached through. So right now market is not going anywhere. Okay, we had a nice push to the upside, and then the bears came back again, pushed again to the downside to retest that 126.50 institutional price level area, which is this area on our chart, and right now we are almost in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so we have to wait for either the bears to come into this market and begin to break clearly to the downside. All right, if that happens, then expectation is that 126.50 area is now going to work as resistance for further continuations to the downside. Okay, that will be the expectation. But in the event that that does not happen, one second. In the event that that does not happen, okay, if the bulls come into this market, then chances are if we begin to take off these areas of supply to the upside, then we wait for pullbacks towards some demand zones in the smaller time frames for further continuations to the upside. All right, so that's pretty much the game plan, but right now it's all waiting game as far as I'm concerned. Okay, that's it for UCAD. Next up is US dollar Japanese yen. Now UJ is looking nice, in my own opinion. This was actually a very nice setup that we identified in the weekend forex forecast. If you guys remember, you can go watch the video. Price just tapped into that area, all right, and from there you can see that demand zone held in the hourly time frame as anticipated, and well, the bulls have now come into this market, and well, you notice that in this area as well, we got a very nice push again to the upside that led to the break of this level of structure and formed this our one demand zone in the process. Okay, so right now we've gotten a pullback as well. Okay, we've gotten a pullback as well into that demand zone, so this is actually one that I'm going to be keeping a close eye on as we go into the London session. All right, so who knows, if we do get, let's say, a push to the downside and then finally the bulls begin to come in around London, I might be looking for an opportunity to go long in this particular currency pair for further continuations to the upside. All right, so this is looking good in the event that you know, we get that bounce. Okay, we must wait for the bounce to happen. If we don't get the bounce and price just continues to shoot to the downside from here, well, that means that this demand zone is not holding price, and then we'll just go ahead and delete it. Okay, so that's pretty much it for US dollar Japanese yen. Next up is going to be GJ, and this is going to be the last of the majors. I've also mapped out a very nice demand zone. Just take a look at this particular level from the 4 hours time frame that we had identified in the weekend forex forecast, if you remember. All right, so we identified this area, almost worked to perfection. This is I think I called 155.25 level, and you can see we just wicked in, and from there the bulls came into this market, and you know, that move has now happened. Well, I was not part of this, in case you're wondering. All right, I didn't get the kind of entry pattern that I wanted. Price just continued to shoot to the upside, and I wasn't able to get in on this particular one. But well, that's by the way. Now, if you go into the hourly time frame, you will notice that in the process as well, we did have this area right here that was working as resistance. Okay, you can see this area around let's say 156.50 area that was working as resistance, and finally we got a very nice push to the upside. Okay, that clearly broke this 156.50 level of structure. All right, and creating this our one demand zone in the process. Okay, so right now you can see I've mapped out that our one demand zone right here, and well, I'm waiting for price to now pull back into that demand zone. Hopefully that happens around London. Maybe if that happens and we get price to dip into this particular demand zone anywhere from right around here, if we begin to get a bounce to the upside, all right, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. All right, that is my game plan for British pound Japanese yen. All right, this is one that I'm also keeping an eye on. Now for the cross pairs, I'm liking what I'm seeing in Euro New Zealand. This is also a level that I had mapped out in the weekend forex forecast from the 4 hours time frame, and right now you can see price dipped into that level right around 1.7150 institutional price level. Price is now bouncing off slowly but surely. It is not yet clear. You will notice that when we got that test of 1.7150 level, price gave us a bounce off of that area, but we are still seeing some significant selling pressure, all right, in this market. Okay, you can see the size of the wicks that we're getting to the upside. Okay, so that's some rejection in my own opinion, but again, this demand zone is still holding. So well, I'm keeping a very close eye on this one. In the event that we get a very clear push to the upside in this particular currency pair, then I'll be probably zooming into the smaller time frames to search for opportunities to go long in this currency pair for further continuations to the upside. Okay, remember, you have to wait for the bounce. Don't try to get in you know, first in this position. Wait for the big dogs to get into the market and show you where they want to push price, and well, if that happens to be to the upside with the respect of this demand zone, then you can join them in the ride. If they push these markets to the downside from here, well, I will now be keeping an eye on the daily demand zone. Okay, and well, that's pretty much what I can see in this particular currency pair at the moment. Now that's it for Euro New Zealand. Next up, New Zealand dollar Japanese yen. In this particular one, I have a level in the hourly time frame. not the best looking, but again, we have a demand zone in this area, break of structure, just similar to the other yen crosses. And you can see right in this demand zone, I think we have a significant level, the 7650 institutional price level. So that's one to keep an eye on as well. All right, price can give us a dip into that area towards that 7650 level. And if from there any bounces to the upside, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long as well. Okay, so let's see how that goes. I'm not going to waste your time. That's pretty much the level that I'm keeping an eye on in this particular currency pair. Next up, Australian dollar, Swiss francs. Okay, well, again, very nice setup in my opinion. Price has now broken that 0.6600 institutional price level to the upside, and then well, we formed a demand zone in the process. So well, I'm keeping an eye on this one. Let's see, do we get price to give us a retest inside this demand zone? All right, anywhere from right around here, if we get a bounce to the upside, opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. All right, that's it for Australian dollar, Swiss francs. Next up is going to be euro pounds. Okay, so I'm keeping an eye on euro pounds as well. If we go into the 4 hours time frame in euro pounds, well, first of all, if we go into the weekly time frame, okay, so in the weekly time frame right now, price is bouncing off of a weekly supply zone. Okay, that you can see the break of this level of structure to the downside. So we have a weekly supply zone, so the bears are also coming in from a longer time frame. That's probably the reason why we're getting this sell-off from this week. No confirmation yet. I don't trade the weekly time frame. That's too long a time frame for me personally, and I just wanted to show you that. Okay, but right now in the 4 hours time frame, you notice that we had this level of resistance in this area right here. Okay, we had a level of resistance here. Price got there. Finally, the bulls came into this market, broke that level of momentum, this level of structure, and created this demand zone in the process. Now, price has given us now a push to the downside into that demand zone. Okay, first attack from that level to the upside, the bears came in. You can see the weak rejection. So, well, what I would love to see in this pair right now is maybe another push to the downside to really test this demand zone. Okay, deep into this demand zone, even possibly a retest of 0.8400 institutional price level. Okay, it's very possible. From there, maybe the bulls, I would like to see the bulls come into this market. If that happens, okay, that's an if that happens, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. Okay, in the event that well, the bears just continue to push this market to the downside, clearly breaking below this demand zone, and then well, that move is gone. I might be zooming into the smaller time frames, in this case now maybe like a minute 30 or hour 1, to search for supply zones that form in the smaller time frame for further continuations to the downside. Okay, so let's see how that goes. Those are pretty much the currency pairs that are giving me a technical level to keep an eye on. As usual, guys, hopefully you gained some value from this video, and if you did, do not forget to like, subscribe to the channel, click on that notification bell, and also drop a comment, okay, so that well, we can continue to reach more traders. Cheers and enjoy the rest of your week. Most importantly, have a profitable trading week. Bye bye.